So I'm into the project I'm working on. I'm looking at the request, and it's based on the SLA. We do have a couple that have violated, SLA, so I can jump into those really quick. So let's take a look at, issues with logging into the internet. I can look through this issue. I can ask someone a question. I can see who the user is that's requested this. It's very streamlined and easy to get around and find the information. So I'm just going to go ahead and resolve this issue, because let's say we restarted the router. I can tell them what it was that we personalize the message going back to them. You can change the configuration for this, so we're able to resolve this issue. So it's easy for me to go through and look at the work that's most important to me. And these queues, as I said, you can easily configure these queues based on the need of that service desk team. The other part of this is I want to show you another service desk project, but before I do that, I want to kind of go through some things on the left-hand side. I can take a look at my customers. Who am I currently supporting for customers, and find a customer and get some information about how many issues do they have open, how many have they closed, and kind of get some information about my customers. The other team is, let's say I have team members I want to invite and bring in. I can simply invite them, add their email address. They'll get a access, login, get themselves set up. The other part of this is if you're new, we make it very easy for, you're adding a new team member. They just joined a couple weeks ago, and I just want to get them up and familiar with using JIRA Service Desk. We provide a lot of in-product help to make it easy for them. But here's the part I wanted to show you and highlight, is that I can take information that's most relevant to them, access to that knowledge base that I showed you in Confluence. Maybe I have some run books for service outage or desktop troubleshooting. I want to be able to easily get to information that if I have an issue, I just want to look at it in Confluence. Or if it's outside of this, we can put those project links that are most relevant for this team right there in one click there to that information. And they can tailor it to fit their needs. Now, let's switch projects. I want to go through a scenario where I have an upgrade that's going to go on, and I need visibility to something maybe another team is working on. So let's go ahead and go back over, and I'm going to switch projects. I'm going to go ahead and go into, and I'm going to go open up all my service desk projects. And the one I want is application support. So what I did was I created an application project application support project just for this team that is focused on changes and major incidents supporting the application infrastructure. I have queues that are a little bit different here. I have some service requests. I have some incidents, things that are waiting on me. So these queues are the ones we give you out of the box, and I've tailored them a little bit further to fit the needs of this team. It also has the workflows, because this is their ITIL based. So in here, I have the request types that they need, change, incident, problem, and service request. And I have the workflows that fit their needs. And I went with the out-of-the-box ones. I do have some custom ones I've used sometimes. So just for sake of time today, I just created this one very quickly. But I want to show you just real quick what one of the workflows looks like. So let's just go ahead and take a look at, let's look at the one for incident and service request. Now, as I said, it's a basic workflow that can be easily adapted. So if you have 5 stages in your process, you can come in and easily change this workflow and then reuse it across multiple projects. That's the other thing of JIRA Service Desk, and it just really goes back to the core of JIRA. It's very adaptable to the process of whatever it is that you're supporting. Now, let's go back to this project. So I have an upgrade going on. I received this request via the portal. It's this purchasing upgrade. So they submitted it. There is a service request out here that I can initiate. So if I'm here, I can go into application support. And that team, what they've done is they've chosen which types of requests can be initiated from the request portal. So I can report a production application issue, or I can choose to request an upgrade to an application server. And that's what's happened here. They need an upgrade to the purchasing app. Now, Mitch commented back to Will, telling him, hey, I'm working on this change plan. I'm reviewing it. It looks good. I could even come in here and comment into maybe a developer that's working on a software update, asking them, hey, where are you at on this? So let's say they tell me about an issue and I'm able to click into it. And what I would find is here we are over in the software project. And what I want to show you is in the backlog, Alana, maybe through HipChat or in the comments, told me about a fix that she has, the TIS accounting software reporting improvements. so I can review it. But instead of doing that, all I have to simply do is I want to link that to my request. Because what we've done is we've put automation in place that once she closes out that fix, it's going to go ahead and notify me of that, so then I can go ahead and implement the change. Or if it was an incident, I could say I'm going to go ahead and put this incident resolved because they've fixed this bug fix and this issue's been released. So you have the ability to go ahead and accomplish all of this. Let me go in here and we'll link this. So we'll go ahead to there it is, accounting software, and this relates to, and we'll go ahead and link it in. Now, with my workflow automation, or my automation rule on the service desk, it is open. Once they resolve this and they close this out, once their sprint is completed and they release that, I'm going to get a notification to the automation rule, and I'm now going to go ahead and be able to move this change forward to actually implement the change. And the other thing I love about JIRA Service Desk is it takes a very lightweight approach to change management. Because oftentimes teams don't want to spend hours filling out all this. They know what they need to do. They need an easy way to be able to put in the information they need and be able to move the request and capture when that change occurs in the environment. And we also can come in and add fields here of what type of item you're changing, what service you're impacting as well. That's because you can adapt the environment to fit their needs. So with that, in just a brief amount of time here, because I want to just make sure we're running up on a little bit of time left to finish up here, hopefully give you an idea of what's possible with JIRA Service Desk, that you can deploy Service Desk's projects around your different IT teams that fit their needs, and you can have a variation of them. You can put them all in one. I've seen a combination of different approaches, but at the end of the day, it's very adaptable to fit their needs. And I think that's one important thing to keep in mind as you look at your service desk. This is a brief demo. The RightStar team, I know, would be happy to take you through a much more in-depth look at the features, as well as a lot of the configuration I haven't looked at today. If you have questions around what we've looked at, let us know. We'll go ahead and put those in the Q&A session. But I'm going to move forward with some slides to wrap us up here. Okay. So a couple customer success stories. I shared with you earlier one of the Daily Telegraph. They were in a large IT team, globally deployed JIRA Service Desk. They did it in less than 5 weeks. Another example here, another video that the RightStar team can include in the follow-up is around Skyscanner. I really love this example because they had a large ITSM vendor they were using. And Skyscanner, if you haven't heard of them, is just one of the 14,000 plus customers using JIRA Service Desk. But the path that led to that decision was they had IT and dev teams working in different tools. And their very large ITSM vendor was not meeting the need and keeping them together, because Skyscanner delivers a search engine for travel bookings, and they're the largest in Europe. They're probably an equivalent of Expedia and Kayak here in the U.S., and they're growing out globally now. And so they needed a way that their teams could respond much faster to the needs of their customers and the services they deliver. And so just another great example of IT was aligning to dev teams because JIRA Service Desk is residing in the same environment. And there's many stories for like that. Just so many of them. A lot of these we've published to our website. We love learning how have IT teams using JIRA Service Desk been successful, and what have they accomplished. And there's a lot of these that we've actually published to the Atlassian website. Now, another area, if you're looking at JIRA Service Desk and you're trying to decide, is this a fit for my team? Another great place to go to is G2 Crowd. What it is, G2 Crowd takes software reviews across different types of software solutions, and it's by validated, so someone has actually implemented the product, they're using it, so they validate, are they a customer of that product, have they used it? And we have 40-plus reviews of JIRA Service Desk, and it has actually moved up into the leader quadrant very quickly. The other thing I love about this website is it takes the comments, the feedback from the customer using the product, and it puts it side by side. So if you're using DMC, Remedy or ServiceNow, or another one is Zendesk, it depends on your product. You can actually line up. You can say, how does it compare? And it gives you a real-world insight into JIRA Service Desk, and time again, it's just customers providing great reviews because of the results they're seeing from us. So take a look at that resource. It's a great resource. Now, what about pricing? I think this is the other great point in pricing is that JIRA Services is not going to break the IT budget. We make it. We have different pricing plans, whether it's around cloud or server. It fits the need. So in the case of cloud, if I have a team of larger than 4, it's $20 per agent, and there's significant cost savings when you compare it to a lot of the other solutions out there. Or we also have the ability that you can purchase it with a perpetual license and run it on your own server on your own premise. We have both, combinations. And the RightStar team is really good about figuring out what best fits your team and giving you the, guidance on which one would be the best decision. So I just want to highlight that that's the other thing. Customers love the capability and the features, but they also love the pricing because it frees up budget that they can then put that into other capability or projects that they're working on. So bottom line, we actually definitely take a new approach. It allows us to really reimagine the way that we would deliver service management in a way that's much more flexible and streamlined to meet both needs of business and dev teams. Part of that is we believe in keeping it super simple to use, both for our end users that they can make it easy for them to request, an experience they'll love, but also for our IT teams as they support these different requests in their IT projects. We also give the flexibility. We know every IT support process has variations, and you need ease of adaptability to implement that support process. Not only initially, but as the team evolves over time, you need an easy way to adapt it, and then JIRA Service Desk takes that approach. The other part is just bringing your teams together. The one thing I didn't highlight is when you purchase JIRA Service Desk, you also get access to JIRA Core. JIRA Core, so you think about a finance team that they're going to have all their process and automation and their workflows for tracking their issues. You have the ability in JIRA Core to automate that and track those issues and then link into issues you might have in JIRA Service Desk, or if your HR team stands up JIRA Service Desk to provide service management. So single platform, both IT and dev, but it also reaches out to other teams as well. And then, as I said, affordable pricing. Customers just see this as a great win for them so they can focus on other aspects and be able to implement very quickly as well.